Hi everyone, it's KIREI here for Hey Little Magpie, and I have a brand new layout using the very funky Jen Hadfield Groovy Darlin collection. And I'm also using the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit for September. So I have this pattern paper here, and I really loved the sort of sign down on that bottom right, look on the bright side. But I didn't want to sometimes I find these papers harder to work with because it's quite flat, the design, obviously, and I really like to add layers and dimension, texture, and that to my layouts. So I have to think about how I'm going to use it. So um, I've got my photos, and I'm actually using a mix of the little photos that I like that I've been using for quite a while now, and I have six of those, and I've got one regular size photo, and basically it's. I needed to do it as a landscape photo. I generally tend to do scrapbook mainly like portrait, but just because of the what the actual photo is. So my photos are from a trip to the US in May, and I'm still working my way through the layouts. I've got a little list of ones that I want to do, and then I just look at that list. And when I have the right collection or project that I need to work on that fits the photos, then I pull them out. So we were in Nashville and visited the Johnny Cash Museum, which lots about him. Actually, it was really, really interesting, and I'm really glad we visited. I mean, my husband really loved it so much he bought the autobiography and read it while we were away. So yeah, okay. So what I'm doing here, I've got my photos mounted in that sort of vertical design. And then I'm pulling in and playing around with quite a lot of the embellishments from the embellishment kit. So I've got that fabulous large silver sequined music note. I've got a couple of silver doilies. I've got that grey heart there. There's a couple of sort of pewter metallic padded hearts. There's that yellow spotted bow. And then I've got the trims. There's two orange trims that I'm going to bring in. Now I've got a couple more pattern papers here. So this one is called Denim, the striped one, and then I will bring in some floral elements. It's called Hippie. So really just playing around, getting everything laid up here and making sure I'm happy with how everything looks. And then you can see what's happening over on the right side. I'm just sort of adding those embellishments along the side of the look on the bright side sign that's on the pattern paper. And then I will bring in there's some pieces over on the far right side, which gives me that, that dimension that I like to add. And that way I've sort of built the look on the bright side sign into my embellishment cluster. If that, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I'm sticking down the pattern papers, the background pieces that I want to add. They're distressed all the edges, of course, and then I'm get those stuck down, and then I can start to add in the rest of the embellishments. So bringing in my crusty T-square and making sure obviously everything is nice and straight. So I've got the ribbons there that I'm going to use. There's that sort of orange and white one, and then there's that other corally orange, pretty sort of scalloped one there. Okay, I actually stitched those ribbons down, and I added a little bit of other stitching. I think you can just see some over there next to on the bright side, but to be honest, I ended up covering it totally up. I should have moved this silver doily, to be fair, over a bit more because I'm covering the bee in bright, which I hadn't really clicked at the time. And so I should have moved that over, and it would have shown the stitching a bit, but that's okay. So getting the embellishments added. So I've got the cowboy boot, which is very appropriate, obviously, because we're in Nashville. Just adding that little bow there. because I like it has nothing really to do with anything, but I just love the colour, the ochre, sort of mustardy yellow that ties in with the papers that I'm using. And then those pewter metallic fabric hearts, little padded hearts, tucking those in. So I'm getting a little pop of sort of metallic and sparkle in, really. And hey, why shouldn't I think all layers should have a bit of sparkle, shouldn't they? A cactus because, well, cactus. I'm in the US, and that works. I love the music note. And actually, when I saw the embellishment kit with the music note in it, I knew exactly. I thought, I know I've got these photos to scrap, so that's going to be perfect. I can work that in with those. So yeah. Then just continuing to add some more of the ephemera pieces, and I'm just sort of creating this sort of vertical design down, and I know it covers up a bit of the trim, but that's okay. Bringing in the little heart there, that padded sort of cord heart, then the flower, just sort of, I'm just trying to balance the colors that I've got in the sort of the clusters over the left to make sure from the right as well. So yeah, really sort of happy with actually how this came together. It's sort of funky, it's fun, and it's got that dark background. And it was the Johnny Cash Museum, so it's all about music and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was really happy with how this ended up coming together. Oh, Hey Little Magpie enamel dots. I'm using the set that's called. It's in the forest colorway, and they were perfect. So I'm just adding them in the sort of corally color, the green and the dusty pink, just in little clusters of 3 around my around the layout. And then I'm pretty much done. I add some journaling at the bottom because I'm working on a really dark background. I just use a white gel pen to add my journaling. Here we go. Here is the final layout. And here are some of the close-ups. You'll see that there's those fabulous embellishments from the embellishment kit. And I added a title that is an old alpha from my stash. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed watching the process video and get some inspiration for using the Jen Hadfield Groovy Darlin collection. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.